Delon, can you believe it? Let Me Fix It season 2. Let's
Let's
go.
go. And some of y'all were impatient.
Oh,
Class,
oh.
y'all were like, excuse me, where is it?
Y'all were like, y'all got that season 2? Where that season 2 at? You on the street
Seen
corners
it.
scratching?
Okay.
Guys, we heard
Candace
class.
Carrington, we see you, girl. We see your ass in the DMs. We sure do.
Don't clock people's names, Delon.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, y'all, thank you so much for your patience.
For
We
real.
had an incredible break. I
Oh,
mean, we
needed
needed
though.
it.
Necessary. Oof.
We really did need it. But here we are, back bigger, better, and stronger than ever for season 2. So, Delon, kick it off to him.
All right, class, here we go. The smooth sounds, the smooth jazz, let me fix it. Here we go with 1, 2, 3, 4. Avril Lavigne.
What is going on?
No idea.
I have no idea.
You were in it though.
I loved it though.
Welcome back.
2, 3. What I was going to say was that I have a lot on my plate right now, and I'm trying to get through this week. As soon as this week is over, I'm taking a social media break.
Oh, girl. I mean, I really get behind all of that. How long is this break gonna be?
I mean, it's going to
24
be
hours.
no. Well, we'll cut some of this, I'm sure. But my plan was to have the break be until Let Me Fix It comes back, which is 2 weeks.
Nice. Good, good.
Yeah, I like a social media break. I have not been able to literally afford one because the social media's paying these bills.
Girl, I know. I mean, I do know. I'm over here carrying ones and being like, okay, let me put that toward that bill, this toward this bill. Being adulting ain't cute. Kids really, do you
They
remember
don't
wanting
know.
to be a fucking adult so bad?
Can I tell you? I was talking to Lerna, and I said, "Bitch, you didn't tell me any of this." I said, "You didn't tell me." And she was like, "What was I supposed to tell you?" I was like, "Anything. You didn't tell me any of this shit was gonna happen."
Taxes, right? She didn't tell me how shitty it is on the other side, girl.
Literally, I just remember when you were a kid, you're like, "I can't wait till I move out and I get my own," and you're slamming doors. And when I have
Girl.
child, what I would give to go back.
It's okay to be in somebody else's home slamming a damn door. You know, because we live alone. Ain't nobody. I was telling people earlier. I was like, I full on talk to myself, full conversation. Because who else am I gonna talk to?
Oh,
I have to work it out.
1000%. Okay, wait. This is giving me all the nostalgia. When you were in high school, did you ever have a punk phase?
No. I didn't have one because I was already gay.
You're like, too much identity.
No,
too many.
Listen, you can only afford one awkward identity, and
you make one choice.
Punk was not it. It was because everyone else shopped at the Gap. But I know you had one. I know you were in it.
Listen, I had the dark eyeliner on, and I was listening to some of my favorite bands. Delon, tell me if you know any of these bands. Hole? You ever heard of Hole? You ever heard of Hole?
Who let them get away with Hole? God.
That's Courtney Love's band.
Oh, it is. You're right. You're so right.
I also loved a little Blondie. Do you know Blondie?
The classic Blondie.
Debbie Harry. Oh yeah, I was listening to classics.
Okay.
I loved, and some of it, honestly, I've gone back and listened to it. Class, if you know who Bikini Kill is, that just garbage.
Bikini Kill.
Yeah, just a lot.
Like a Skrelt band or whatever that's called.
It's called Riot Girl. Again, I should have known my ass was not straight. I'm listening to, girls with baby bangs, and they're all wearing combat boots.
Like the really high baby bang. It's like, yo, did someone just give you a bad haircut?
It looks like somebody took a weed whacker to their hair. just and ripped tights.
Girls being angry, right.
Just angry for no god. I live in the motherfucking suburbs. I live in the suburbs.
Plenty of reasons, though. Being a girl in America.
Yes, there are tons of things to be angry about, for sure. But I'm just saying, me for Tusca and West Palm Beach, I had a good life.
You know what you were mad about? You were mad about that time you dyed your hair purple and it fell out. That's what you were scripting about.
Yeah, that was what my songs would have been about. Me frying the fuck out of my hair. Jesus.
Ooh, wait. No.
Listen.
Listen.
Wait.
I hate you for that.
Let me fix it. Welcome back to Let Me Fix It, the podcast that says, why'd you have to go and make things so complicated? I'm Francesca Ramsey. I'm an actress, a producer, a writer, and graphic designer.
And I'm DeLon Grant. I'm an actor, singer, photographer, writer, and educator. And this week, we're digging into the career of Canadian pop punk princess, Canadian pop punk princess Avril Lavigne. In 2002, the year Fran and I graduated from high school, she burst onto the scene with her debut album, Let Go. Throughout the early aughts, is it Let It Go, her album, or Let Go?
I think it's just Let Go.
Oh, because later on you have me saying Let It Go.
Okay, let's just do a double check, because you know the class will correct us.
You know they will get you.
Avril Lavigne, It's just Let Go.
Gracias. I will say Let Go.
Sorry about that.
No worries. In 2002, the year Fran and I graduated from high school, she burst onto the scene with her debut album, Let Go. Throughout the early aughts, new season, same old jokes, y'all. Fran hates me. Miss Lavigne was all over the radio with hits like Complicated, like Fran was singing, Sk8er Boi, and I'm in, yeah.
Ooh, in the 2000s, Avril really was that girl. Spelled G-R-R-R-L. Girl, okay?
Triple R.
Exactly. Let Go went 7 times platinum with over 16 million albums sold. They don't do it like that anymore.
Yo, because we were really out here buying albums in the aughts. Like, we really were.
They're really not doing that anymore. In fact, it was 2002's best-selling album globally for a Canadian artist.
Wow.
Side note, what is in the water in Canada? Because they bring the hits. We got Celine Dion, Justin Bieber, Avril, Alanis, Rufus Wainwright, Shania Twain.
You know, now
What
I
is
didn't
it?
know Rufus Wainwright was Canadian.
You can't tell? I feel like he sounds...
What makes
There's
him
something so like
Canadian?
nice and friendly about him, you know?
You can hear that through the music.
He's singing about cigarettes and
chocolate milk.
that sounds like somebody with manners. You know, that's not an American.
You're so right. Americans are like,
turn my pussy out. Get this money. Yeah, that's what our music is brash. You know?
Turn that pussy out.
Canadians are keeping it soft.
Keeping it PC, okay? Damn. I love a Canadian. So while Avril Lavigne put out 7 records over the years and had 8 Grammy nominations, nothing has quite captured the same level of her success back in 2002 during her debut. And after taking a lengthy departure from making music, she was even the subject of a very, very weird conspiracy theory. I'd never heard of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's weird. So what happened? How did Avril go from skater girl to see you later world? Today we are going to unpack Avril's career, and then, as usual, we will each pitch how we would fix it. So let's dive in. This is Avril Lavigne. Let me fix it. Cat. Avril grew up in Ontario, Canada, and got her start singing in church. This surprised me.
Me too.
She's not giving church girl, okay?
At all.
But, you know, we all have to get our start somewhere. In 1999, at just 14, she won a music contest, which landed her the chance to sing with Shania Twain, and that put her on the road to stardom. The Canadian girls say, each one teach one. We work together.
Also, like, they had some voices. Celine singing,
Voices!
Shania, Avril,
I'm
Alanis,
telling-
they're singing. You're
I'm
right,
telling
you're
you,
right.
it's something about them woods up there. I think that's where they're getting it from.
We're going to get to that, the woods and the ticks, girl,
We are
because
going
watch
to
out.
get to that, absolutely. So her first demo was very country and folk, but after meeting with a producer in New York, she started working on the pop punk style that would become her signature.
At the ripe age of 16, her demo landed on the desk of L.A. Reid, who at the time was the head of Arista Records. Avril sang for LA in his office, and in true Hollywood fashion, he signed her on the spot. That doesn't happen anymore.
That does not happen. They find your TikTok, and then you get signed.
It's so fucking true, and then you out, girl.
They're like, she can only sing in 30-second increments, but you're signed.
Well, kind of though. So she was signed with a whopping $1.25 million contract, and just 1 year later, at 17, she released her album "Let Go." Fran, what were we doing at 17? 16, 17, what were you doing?
Oh man, I was so desperate for a car. All my friends were getting cars, and I was the last one in the group to get a car, and that was very difficult for me. What I wouldn't give for those young, youthful problems.
Was it that Volvo?
No. It was a Mercury Tracer.
Ooh,
and
never
if you're
heard of
wondering
her.
what kind of car that is, exactly. No one has ever heard of a Mercury Tracer. My dad bought it. It was a used car from I guess it was like a rental car place that was selling old rentals. So that's how I got my first
You see my
car.
wheels turning? Because he needs a car. So I'm like, wait a minute.
That is you know what? Let me fix it.
Okay.
Go to rental car places. Because the thing is they keep those cars in really good condition. They're clean. They're well taken care of. They've been inspected, all that good stuff. But yeah, what were you doing at 16, 17?
I had just landed my first lead role in a show, the musical Cinderella.
Okay.
Guess who I was?
The Frog.
Cinderella.
No, you weren't.
Can you imagine? No. I was obviously the prince.
Oh, okay.
You know who I wanted to be, though? One of the evil stepsisters. Now, that wasn't fun.
Now, that would have been very progressive and very fun to watch.
Right.
All right, so Avril really stood out in the 2000s pop girly landscape because of her tomboy skater punk style. We're talking baggy men's pants, Converse, ties, and sneakers. This was the look. Okay, now listen, I did not own any Converse, but I did have a whole collection of Pumas and Adidas. Well, those shoes did not do my giant feet any favors. I will never forget. It looked like I had 2 giant loaves of bread on my feet. Remember, you would do the sneakers where you would do the laces just going across, not actually tied.
Like a straight across.
Yeah, so it looked like a loaf of bread. It was so unattractive.
Just all puffy and tight. Damn.
All of those shoes were like puffy. Do you remember those little clouds?
Yeah.
What a
my
weird
God, that's
time.
so funny. The other thing that set Avril apart, she's a writer, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
She's credited with co-writing most of her hits on her debut album. Most notably, she co-wrote Kelly Clarkson's "Breakaway," which sounds like totally an Avril song.
It's set, honestly, when you hear the song and you hear that context, you're like, yes, I totally hear it.
Like the tone and the notes and like the
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
yeah.
Yeah.
Break up on a cold night.
Yeah.
It's so Avril, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the song was originally meant for Avril's debut album, but ultimately the team didn't think it would fit the vibe of the album, which is wild because, again, I can't imagine anyone else singing it other than Kelly Clarkson, but it just sounds like an Avril song.
Yeah, it really, really does. So Delon and I mentioned earlier, Avril has released 7 albums. This really shocked me because I really only know of Let It Go because there were so many hits. Like we said, Complicated, Sk8er Boi, I'm With You is a fucking bop. That's the song.
I just see my little teenage self blaring it in my room crying,
yeah. Looking out the window on the bus, listening on your Discman, just longingly putting your hand on the window.
Did you ever really imagine that we would be here talking about our Discmen as if that's that's so far in the past? It's so crazy.
Oh my God. It was truly a different time. That song, it was just, and again, on the topic of what really set her apart is everybody was doing the pop music stuff.
Yeah.
And for her to go from doing Sk8er Boi, these big, angsty songs to this slow ballad that is just so heartbreaking. And it was a really beautiful turn for her as an artist. I will also add, Rihanna sampled that song for Cheers, I'll Drink to That. Do you know that song? Cheers, let the Gemma sun sink and I drink. I
had never heard this song until you put this in the
You had it? Really?
I was like, what is this? Put your drink
glasses up and I'll drink. And then Avril's in the background going, yeah, 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 yeah.
It's a great sample. It's a great sample, but I'd never heard this song. I was like, this is not Rihanna's best. Sorry. Sorry.
I like that song. I like it.
Yeah, the jury's out for Delon.
Okay.
So Avril followed up that with her 2000 album. Avril followed that up with 2004's Under My Skin. Now, I knew stuff from Let It Go. I do know a couple songs, Happy Ending, which you've put in here.
So much for my happy ending. That sounds like it should be in like it's got to be in some teen movie.
Yes.
I feel like
you were everything that I wanted.
Yeah, at the end when like the girl like flips off the bullies and like flips her hair and like walks towards the like basketball court. I almost said basketball field. I don't fucking know sports. But you know what I mean?
Sport, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a very triumphant song. Like, you know.
I think you hit it on the head with the angsty. All of her music was very angsty and like really grasped that kind of like, what is your identity as a teen? And if nothing else, you don't know how to process your feelings. You're trying to find your social circle. And so the idea that someone is tapping into the emotions makes so much sense. And I think is why she was so popular. On Under My Skin, she also had Nobody's Home, which I don't really know, but it's giving like a Christian rock feel, which I think ties back to the thing you were talking about with her in church. And later on, she has some other very Christian-y music that I was like, oh, so it was always kind of there.
You know what? Honestly, now that I have that perspective, I feel like that churchy undertone, even in the "I'm with you," that sounds like you. That's God is in you.
Ready?
He's with you.
Yeah, he said, "Is that a lie to mine?" In 2007, The Best Damn Thing came out, and she had a song called "Girlfriend" on that, which I don't really remember.
Yeah, this is definitely like the little cousin of Hollaback Girl. It's very like stompy, clappy, like, yeah, you, I'm your fucking girlfriend.
Oh,
it's
wait,
like
I do know this song.
It's like
I
you're
think I
punching.
need one.
Yeah. It's like you're punching the air. You're like kicking and stomping.
It's very anthemic.
It is, and that's why it feels like the Hollaback Girl. It feels like we should all be clapping together as we're like shouting the lyrics.
It also kind of like you mentioned Hollaback and Gwen Stefani comes to mind, obviously. It's giving No Doubt sans the reggae feel, right?
Oh, yeah.
They hadn't appropriated that. It's like giving that same kind of like front woman, like, feel.
Gwen Stefani had, the reggae of it all. Ska is the correct term for.
Oh, is it now?
Yes, listen, No Doubt was my very first concert. Gwen Stefani has a special place in my heart as my favorite cultural appropriator. She's problematic as fuck, but I loved me some Gwen Stefani.
She gonna take your shit and do it right.
But Gwen was wearing, the men's trousers with the suspenders, and she always had like pink hair, and
and it was always like a 50s throwback feel.
Yes, exactly. So very rockabilly, very wearing like little tank tops with a tie and combat boots. So it very much is that Avril is like the little sister of the No Doubt era. Really good reference, Delon.
You started it.
Teamwork. In 2011, Avril came out with Goodbye Lullaby. I never heard of these songs before. The lead singles were Smile and What the Hell. And I just got to say, at this point, it feels like we're treading on the same ground because it's just a lot of the same angsty, anthemic, which is the word that you use, which is really smart, but it doesn't feel like the music has grown. Am I alone in that?
No, I think you're totally right. I mean, with Smile, I thought like it was kind of bleeding into hip hop, just like with the beat, like still having that kind of rocky feel to it, but it had like a hard syncopation to it. And I was like, she's trying to go, she's trying to grow, she's trying to evolve. Because at some point, was it their third album? You do start to go, well, what else is there, right? As an artist.
Exactly. And I pulled some lyrics from this What the Hell song because it's just like, if you love me, if you hate me, you can't have me, baby, baby. All my life have been good, but what the hell? What the hell? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What the hell are you?
What the hell?
What the hell are we doing here? This is a little bit, again, worn territory. 2011 is also the year that Avril became the subject of a very weird internet conspiracy, often referred to as Avril Lavigne is dead. Now, the rumor.
It's so unromantic.
It's like y'all couldn't come up with a pun. You know what I mean? Like
Avril Lavigne is dead.
Avril Lavigne, what do you mean? Like something. Just try.
Avril Lavigne ain't been seen. Ready?
Delon.
Poetry.
Literally. Have you ever thought about teaching?
I have. They can't stand my ass.
You're very clever. So the rumor was that the real Avril Lavigne died in the early 2000s and was replaced by a lookalike named Melissa Vandella. Now, according to the theory, that sounds like a fake name. I'm sorry.
It does. It sounds like something put on a fake ID.
Vandella? I mean, again, no shade. I'm sure maybe someone does exist named Vandella.
Sure.
I will say I looked up Melissa Vandella, could not find a picture of this person. So I think it is a fake name. According to the theory, Avril Lavigne supposedly died shortly after the release of her debut album, Let Go. And the cause of death varies depending on who you ask. Some say that she was so stressed that she took her own life. I mean, it's very dark. While others say there was some sort of tragic accident. The theory claims that Avril's label decided to cover up her death using Melissa Vandella, who was allegedly Avril's body double for public appearances. I put some evidence in the doc here. People were comparing photos of her. Spoiler, some people age. Sometimes we get older, and that means you look a little bit different.
Your face spreads changed out. Your face.
And she looks the same, but like her hair is darker. And this mole wasn't there, and now it's in a different.
Oh my God, class!
They're circling the moles.
They have circled the moles on this woman's arm to say that she is not who she is.
Yeah.
The internet is crazy.
The
internet has taken it too far.
Oh, yeah. No, this is ridiculous. They also said that her lyrics had changed. One of the things that was really stuck out to me is that she did a commercial for a Australian diet snack, and her fans were like, Avril would never do that. And I just have to remind y'all, you don't know these fucking celebrities.
Right.
The parasocial relationship, I love this artist. She would never. You don't know what she would fucking do.
Also, they are crafting that narrative. They are crafting who she is. Yes, punk rock might be her thing, but like we said, she started in church, right? She started doing something else. And then they were like, this is the angle we're going to push. So we don't know if a record company was doing that, because later on, she kind of drops that a little bit and becomes very like glam and blonde, it embraces her blonde and everything.
Yeah, not as tomboyish, a little more grown up, a little more
and people are allowed
sexy.
To grow and change.
Exactly. So obviously this conspiracy theory is bullshit. But Avril did comment on it in an article, and she kind of shut it down very quickly. She didn't kind of labor on it. But again, to your point about the internet, like people need hobbies. Like this is too much.
You know what? Take one of mine, because I have 17.
Take a class.
Oh, I love a class.
Find
Take a class.
some community.
Learn the language.
Cross-referencing photos of Avril on a murder board? Please don't.
Not a murder board. Is it a murder board?
No, you know when it's like the board
you're
with
so
all
funny.
the pictures and like the
with
red string. Yes.
Totally.
Come on. No one's using red string for anything other than those stupid boards.
Or you know what? Take a class and get a forensic degree, because clearly that's what you into.
Yes, exactly. I didn't label these. Do you want to take 2014?
Oh, sure. So 2014, Avril Lavigne, the self-titled album. The songs on this, right? She's arrived.
Yeah. Oh, this is grown shit. Self-titled.
Self-titled. Despite that, the big song on it was "Here's to Never Growing Up." So evidently she hasn't really grown.
Yeah.
But she's holding on to that angsty thing, right? That teen angst, like you were talking about. This feels like a pop crossover to me. Like it feels like it's Katy Perry dropped I Kissed a Girl in 2008, and then this came out in 2014. So like she kind of was like lobbing on to the Avril feel, but Katie was like a little more clean, a little more polished, a little
and a
less
little more grown up, and a little more
grown
a little more
up.
grown up. To your point about here's to never growing up, Mama, you're 29. You're 29. Like I just, like we can't do music videos set in high school anymore.
Yeah.
We can't be kicking over tables and standing
And
on top of
your
car.
hair green and shit, right?
No, we really,
you have
really
meetings
can't.
to go to, right?
Yeah, exactly. And not that I want to see, a video where you're balancing your fucking checkbook, but like give me a song that is about where you're at in life at 29.
Yeah.
And I really think, I don't want to get ahead of us to the fix of it all, but I just think that Avril's musical brand did not really grow with her. And the sound that, she became known for, and again, let's be honest, she killed the sound. She was really good at it.
Yeah.
She was the sound. But the thing that we talk about with musicians all the time is you got to give us the next fucking thing. Like the Avril, the self-titled, give us the strip down.
Yeah.
Give us trying a new genre. Go back to folk. Give us a fucking Christian album. I don't know.
Honestly, I just don't understand why Madonna has really set the
bar.
The bar. Like she reinvented herself with every album. That's hard to do, but she demanded that you looked at her. To your point about evolving, I think. Well, let me say, let me go was a big. Let me say Let Me Go was also a big track on her self-titled album. That was also with her husband, Chad Kroeger, who's in Nickelback. But to your point, Fran, about like the evolution of her sound or her artistry, I think it might be due to her illness, because there was a big hiatus that she had, right? So class, in 2014, that was also the year when Avril was diagnosed with Lyme's disease. Lyme disease, not limes, y'all. There's no S on it. Lyme disease, which led her to take a really extended break from music. Lyme disease is an infectious disease transmitted via deer ticks. It is the most common vector-borne disease in North America and Europe, especially in areas with dense forest where the ticks live, like Canada.
Yes.
This is also very... Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to do this interesting thing, if that's okay.
Yep.
This is also really interesting because Lyme disease is kind of controversial. And it's weird that this is controversial because it is difficult to diagnose. And after you take antibiotics, some people say that after they've taken the antibiotics, they have lingering symptoms or what's known as chronic Lyme disease, CLD. But the medical community is divided on whether or not CLD exists, which is nuts. To me, if a bunch of people are saying, hey, I have these symptoms, and the doctors are like, no, you're not. No, you're just making that up.
That's really crazy because I can imagine that you feel gaslit. I'm just going to say that, there are a lot of letters in this next bit that I'm about to talk about.
Okay.
I am dyslexic, so I'm probably going to fuck these up. But there are ample doctors and patients who have identified, like Fran was saying, that have been diagnosed with CLD. But a number of mainstream medical experts, including Infectious Disease Society of America, IDSA, and the CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, don't recognize CLD as a distinct condition, which is really crazy. They argue there's little scientific evidence of its existence after being treated for regular old Lyme disease. Imagine how frustrating that is, like I was saying before, to know that you are dealing with something that you feel weird and there's no doctor that can give you a treatment, and they flat out just don't believe you.
Yeah, it sounds incredibly frustrating. And that's exactly what happened to Avril Lavigne. She had a number of symptoms, including extreme fatigue, joint pain, and flu-like symptoms. In a 2015 article with People magazine, she said that she was bedridden for months.
Can you imagine?
And despite going to multiple doctors, they struggled to diagnose her. Now, think about it this way. If you got Avril Lavigne money and you can't get a diagnosis, what must it be like for the regular old brokies out here?
And you are so right.
That are struggling and are like, what is going on with me?
Wow.
But there are a number of celebrities who have come forward to say that they have Lyme. Ironically, a number of Canadians. Shania Twain also has Lyme. Justin Bieber. The Real Housewife Yolanda Hadid, along with her daughter Bella and her son Anwar.
Wow.
this was interesting to me because I was like, now, wait a second, how do they all have it? According to the article that I read, it's not that it's genetic, but it often runs in families because they're in the same environment.
Wow.
So if y'all all went on a camping trip together, you know, and then and you got bit, it's understandable that maybe multiple people in your family, but again, it's a thing of like, all of these people can't just be making this up. What do you get out of being like, well, I'm bedridden for months? You're lying. You're making that up. No, I want to go to work. Like,
right. Well, I would argue that maybe this is a hypothesis that like because these doctors don't know how to solve it, that they're just kind of dancing around it, right? Because medicine is a practice, y'all. Let's not forget that medicine is a practice.
Yeah.
It's an educated guess. It's a very educated guess, but it's still a guess, right?
Yeah, and you know, you make such a great point because it kind of sounds very similar to what I've heard people who've struggled with long COVID
I was
have
thinking
said.
the same thing, friend.
That they got COVID, they got over it, and they're like, something is still wrong with me. And the doctors, they don't know what to do. So they're like, maybe it's in your head. Maybe you're depressed. Have you thought about losing weight? Like they just throw, you know, anything. How they do.
They do. Don't go to Dr. Google because Dr. Google's the worst. You die.
Yeah, don't do that. And then don't be, you know, intersecting identities. Don't be fat. Don't be black. Don't be queer. Don't be any other thing than like straight, cis, and white, because they will assume that you're making it up. Yep. You want pain medication. You just want to know out of work. It's wild that this is such a persistent problem, but it also speaks to why we unfortunately need celebrities to talk about it. Right. So somebody at home can go, oh my God, I have the same thing that Avril Lavigne is struggling with. Well, maybe I have Lyme.
And this is why also, not to go too far down this medical rabbit hole, but my black gay doctor that I had in New York was telling me, make sure that your doctor is black. He was like, because he was telling me about something when my sister was pregnant. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And he was like, yeah, you wouldn't know that. Like, right. An advocate, right?
I mean, there's old medical textbooks that say black people don't experience pain the same because our skin is thicker.
Right. Well, and you could also thank us for modern gynecology. Well, women. Because of what slaves went through. We digress. The other part is not to make belittle of Lyme. Not to belittle Lyme disease, but this is why I don't be outside, no trees. This is why I don't be in nature.
Literally, when I read about this, I was like, I knew I was right to never go camping. I'm not doing that.
Not my thing.
Stay right here.
So after finally getting diagnosed and going through extensive treatment, Avril returned to music in 2019 with her album Head Above Water, which was inspired by her battle with Lyme disease. Now, this is really giving Christian rock from me, friend.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a throwback to the 80s, 90s power ballads. Like, you know, she's in this big house playing a piano and it's all dark.
With a long flowy dress
and the
like
windows,
long arms.
There's a curtain blowing and you know what I mean? It's very that. And there's a lot of God in the chorus of this one.
Yeah. And I will say, like, this is not my kind of music, but to go back to what we were talking about before about needing to see growth, this is where I'm like, oh, I can see that this music is a reflection of where you're at in your life. And it sucks that you had to go through something as, you know, traumatic as an illness in order to get to this place. But like the creative process is about reflecting where you are, not like maintaining like, okay, I'm the pop punk girly, so now all I do is pop punk. This, again, not my style, but I really appreciated that she tried something new and obviously something very personal, which she needed to get out.
Right. I would also wonder if like the record labels, the studios, when you do try something, back to Lauryn Hill, right?
Yeah.
Lauren was in the studio after that first album. She was like, none of it was good.
Recognize, up, down, left, right, back, right.
That song. Complicated. It
was just the thesaurus.
And that was her post-prison song. Ready? Who got us laughing at this woman's plight? Sorry, Lauren. Sorry, we making jokes over here. But listen, you know, some artists like may not have their music put out because the label is like, no, this ain't gonna make no money, right? We're not gonna put money behind it, you know. Is this me?
Yeah, I think so. Sorry.
No, it's all good. So in 2019, during this album, on this album, Avril collaborated with Nicki Minaj for Dumb Blonde, which felt like a giant step backward or like trying to be something it wasn't.
Yeah.
This was on the album Head After Water. What does Head After Water even mean?
No, head Head Above Water.
Head Above Water. My bad.
Yeah, look at this. All these typos in this,
No, it's all
doc.
good.
I'm sorry.
Please, girl. I'll read this part again.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2019, for this next album, Head Above Water, Avril collaborated with Nicki Minaj for Dumb. Do you hear this?
Yes, I do hear it.
These fucking sirens. This is,
I know.
Even
How
in Boston.
dare somebody die? Excuse me. We're recording a podcast. Could you hold on the heart attack? Thanks.
I was going to meet a friend, and I was on the train, and there was a medical emergency, and I went, ugh. And I texted my friend, and I was like,
do you really have to do this now?
I was like, there's a medical emergency. My friend was like, oh, I hope they're okay. And I was like, yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah. Shit. Yeah, you need to have yourself clocked for a second. We can pause for a siren.
Okay. Damn. So on Head Above Water, Avril collaborated with Nicki Minaj for Dumb Blonde, which felt like we were saying, like, kind of just a big step back. Honestly,
you know what I'm saying? Boo.
It's giving Chapel Roan.
Beep, we're censoring this part of the podcast. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to say it, and I feel like it needs to be said. If you are going to talk shit about Chapel Roan, you hate women. I think there's no way around it.
Donald Trump messed up Trump card, but you can't Trump card me. Wait.
Delon,
it sounds like Chapel Roan. Don't lie to me.
No, it really, really fucking doesn't.
Are you serious?
I'm 1,000.
Avril is not a comp for Chapel Roan?
No, she's absolutely not. Because Chapel is giving, and here's the thing, you don't want to believe it, and that's okay. Because you are allowed to be wrong. And that is fine for me, okay? Chapel, she does have like fluffy pop songs, but she is also writing about her experience as she's like coming out as a queer woman. She's grappling with being in romantic relationships with girls who identify as straight. She's identifying with being from the Midwest and not feeling seen as a queer person. I mean, again, I'm not here to be like, go white girl, go, but her music is good. I think she's a good musician, and she does have fluffy stuff on there, but she can also sing, and she can belt in a way that Avril can't. She can. Delon?
Belt?
Yes.
Girl, that's a yell on pitch, girl. That's a yell on pitch.
Okay,
Don't get the chappies coming from me. Is that what they call it? Is that what they call her fans? The chappies? Come on, that's a good name. Sir,
listen, you know what? I'm gonna keep it cute. I'm gonna keep it cute.
Okay, let me stop because I know that they'll go come. Everyone's gonna come from my ass.
Good.
So, finally, we have 2022's "Love Sucks," which is very much. Finally, we have 2022's "Love Sucks," which is very much back to her pop punk roots. In addition to her music, Avril has ventured into acting. Mm-hmm. She voiced a character for Over the Edge in 2006 and appeared in the movie Fast Food Nation in 2006 as well.
She also started a fashion line called Abby Dawn in 2008, which I think was very smart on her part, named after a childhood nickname given to her by her father. The line features punk-inspired clothing. And in September 2020, Avril Lavigne did a special live stream concert to raise awareness and funds for the fight against Lyme disease. Called Fight Lyme, with the proceeds going to the Global Lyme Alliance and her charity, the Avril Lavigne Foundation, which she started in 2010 to help young people with serious illnesses and disabilities. So shout out to you, Avril, for giving back and using your platform to shine a light on Lyme disease.
That's right.
So now that we've gone over Avril's career, it's time for us to fix it. But first, let's take a quick break. And we're back. Delon, would you like to go first?
Well, let me go first. So, you know what? I feel like Avril attempted to do her own fix, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of celebs do this. She had the product with Abby Dawn, like you said. She tried different sounds as a musician and after her Lyme moment, right? She has her charity work. She's dabbled in acting. So I feel like she's leveraged all the things with her star power that she can and with her platform, like you were saying. So I think her next step should be maybe a Broadway moment, and I'm saying that because of where I'm at.
I
because who I am.
What?
I know, right?
Okay.
So there are all these jukebox musicals. Alanis Morissette, they took her music from Jagged Little Pill and made it a broader musical. It was very successful. I think someone should take Avril's music and have a twist on it and make it gay. So what if we do like a RuPaul's Drag Race? All of the queens from Drag Race do lip syncs in like a
like different
limited
Avril songs?
Different Avril songs as different Avrils, different characters.
Wow.
And she's the judge, and it's a limited engagement, and we like loop through all the queens, right? And
that is so cute.
Right? And then, I mean, not only will the gays come out, but all the millennials will come out.
The millennials. It totally hits them a nostalgia moment.
Come on. And it's a twist on the jukebox musical that I really can't stand. It's like really getting tired to me. Also, if you were to do that, you could switch out queens. Like maybe do Evanescence next. Maybe do Toni Braxton next.
Oh my God. The like I was literally going to say the Evanescence route is where I think Avril should have gone. Like the pop punk, not to jump on your fix, but like I don't love all of it. I don't know all their songs, but like the like, you know, and like the big belt. All the big belty, the like haunting siren-y vocals. I feel like Avril could totally do that, and it stays in the rock realm. So Evanescence for the jukebox musical, I think, is a really, really smart reference.
And you know what? Now that we mentioned Evanescence, like it would be really cool to hear the lead singer of Evanescence and Avril do a duet. I would pay.
Honestly, it feels like a no-brainer.
Right?
Like, I just feel like that should have happened.
Right. So that's my fix. Like a spin on the jukebox musical, like a limited engagement, mix it with some gays because the gays will pay money to see gays, right? And they also love Avril, and make it like a theme thing. And you could do it around like, I don't know, Halloween or like something like just for a season. I think it might be kind of cute.
I love that. So I have 3 little quick ones. I feel like because Avril was so known for that smoky eye, why didn't she do a smoky eye?
Low-hanging fruit.
A smoky eye collab would have made sense. I feel like so many artists are doing these makeup collabs and you're just like, you don't have a signature look. Don't do a full range. I will actually say Halsey has a line of makeup called About Face, and she makes this great little eyeshadow pencil that you just rub right over your eye, and it's like one and done smoky eye.
Wow.
That's what Avril should have done.
Yeah.
She should have done it in like 3 colors. You buy it in a little pack. It's a stocking stuffer.
You know and she could have called it a punky eye.
A punky eye. Delon,
come on now.
You better brand.
Come on now.
The other thing is the songwriting of it all. She should write for more people. I just feel like I felt like she should have evolved sooner. I wish she had. But there's something to be said for the fact she knows how to write an anthemic girl, punky thing. There's tons of artists that would use that or use it in movies, use it in commercials, like just an easy way for her to just keep the pen going and get those checks.
Yes.
And then my last thing is, I would love a movie adaptation of her life story. Getting discovered in L.A. Reid's office, like that is a cinematic moment, okay? But then here's the thing. The movie starts like it's a cute little, coming of age music story. And then halfway through, it turns into the conspiracy theory. She dies. The girl dies. And the record label is like, what do we... Here's the thing. People love it when celebrities are in on the joke. If she's essentially winking, she's winking at this conspiracy theory, and then Avril Lavigne as herself does a cameo in the movie. Maybe she's one of the execs. Yeah. And she's like, listen, we have too much money on the line. Who cares that this fucking girl died? Let's just get a body double. You know what I mean? And then it turns into a different movie.
I would love for it to be spoofy. Like, yes! I mean, take itself really serious, but like become like a culty classic.
Campy.
Like mommy, campy's the word. Very camp.
With big musical numbers and big musical numbers where everyone's like, wait a second, she looks different. And, it's like a little Hannah Montana-ish where like, she's doing different wigs and different outfits and whatever. And again, it's funny. And it's one of those things at the very beginning where it says like, based on an almost true story, like wink, wink. So there's like
I love it.
elements from Avril's real life in the movie.
Yeah.
And then again, it's like making fun. I don't know if you saw Weird Al Yankovic had a movie, and it's weird. The movie is weird, and it's like based on his life story, but like all this crazy shit happens. That's what I want to see from Avril, but musical. I think that would be so cute.
You know who I'd cast? I'd recast that Renee Rapp.
Oh my God.
Screaming her face off.
That's a great cat. And also, I just feel like Renee, because of like, maybe it's the Mean Girls of it all. I just feel like she has like, she's got her hands on her hips.
Yeah,
and
saucy.
she's got a little stank face on. And she's like, what, you know what I mean? And she's like,
yes.
And maybe, okay, let's keep it going. It's got a little bit of the Parent Trap of it. Maybe Renee plays both characters. She plays Avril.
I love it.
And she plays like the dark-haired lookalike.
And Melissa.
She plays Melissa.
Melissa Vandella.
Yes, like the movie shows Avril, getting discovered, and then like Melissa in the hood, working at Burger King.
She obviously has to be in the hood. Because, that's what Hollywood thinks. She's white trash. She comes from the trailer park.
Yes. It's a little 8 Mile. It's a little 8 Mile of it all.
Totally.
Mom spaghetti, tears are heavy.
It's this for me.
That's my Eminem.
Yo, that's the greatest rapper of all time, evidently.
Oh, God. All right, now it's time for everyone's favorite segment, the Glow Up, where we give props to those who've turned around themselves. And now it's time for everyone's favorite segment, the Glow Up, where we give props to those who've turned themselves around without our help. Delon, is it okay if I go first?
Absolutely.
My Glow Up goes to sports documentaries. Now, clearly, I almost said basketball field earlier in the episode. I did not grow up playing sports. I'm a late sports girly. I will say, I've been watching some of these sports documentaries on Netflix, and I've been riveted.
Really? Worth the time?
The Simone Biles doc is incredible.
Really?
Breakpoint is a doc. Well, and it's the Simone Biles one. I could just go on and on, but it's about when she decided to drop out of the Olympics because she was dealing with like mental health stuff.
Was that Brazil or Tokyo?
It was Tokyo. It was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's just seeing it from that side is so interesting. She is such a fascinating and intelligent, wise beyond her years, so talented. It's just so cool getting to see like who she is off of the, I don't know, not the court. What is that called? I don't know. Wherever she's doing the flips, the floor. Seeing her off the floor. Exactly. Breakpoint is a tennis documentary, and it's about, the first season was about Indian Wells, and then also the U.S. Open. And it follows all these different tennis players, and you get the backstory of who's dating who and who's had injuries. And it's just, the storytelling is fantastic.
Okay.
And you don't have to be a sports person in order to enjoy them. I also watched the Dallas Cowboys documentary series.
You really went in. Wow.
I'm telling you, they're really good. And they also did one on Aaron Rodgers, which was
Who's Aaron Rodgers?
He's the football player that fucking was killed people.
Aaron Hernandez?
That's exactly.
She's so stupid. She said it with such confidence.
Yeah,
like, exactly.
That's the one, Aaron.
Yo, listen, I just saw there's another one coming out about Aaron Hernandez. And I was like, I saw it on the news today, and I was like, oh, would you leave this man alone? But I also was like, oh, that man was so, because he was like, he had stuff like, he was tortured without being gay,
yes,
and I was like,
that's why the doc was fascinating. It does not justify his behavior,
right?
But it is a a critique of masculinity, of the sports industry. I mean, but again, it's not the type of thing that I normally would gravitate to. Yeah. But somebody else was like, "Oh, you should watch this," and I was like, "Let me put it on." Riveted. I mean, truly couldn't remember the man's name, but I enjoyed it.
I mean, when I heard about like this stuff, obviously about him being gay, because right, just my empathy went overboard. I was like, oh man, like I come, Aaron, like he's gone now, but like come, I'll introduce you to like my friends. We'll go out. I just feel my heart breaks for people like that because like I overstand, as you would say.
Well,
I overstand what that is.
And I think that that's why the doc is so powerful and necessary, because here are the consequences of us perpetuating these homophobic ideas and these and masculinity is a prison that we all deal with the consequences of, even if you are a man. And the idea that just having romantic or sexual feelings about another man ties you up so much so that you are violent and you just lashing out at everybody. It's like, suck a dick and leave us alone.
Yo,
you know what I mean? Like,
listen,
it's fine. Do the thing and just be happy. And like, but again, it's easier said than done. And again, it does not justify his actions, but like, the sooner we can get people to wrap their minds around the consequences of these hateful ideas, because that's how we end up with, men beating other women up, beating men up, and ending their lives and do all like
violence.
You don't have to live this way. You don't have to live this way.
Well, I do like, not to get too like I don't know, historical, but or genealogical. I don't know, whatever. Our species is really young. It's really, really young, and provided that the planet is still here, hopefully hundreds of years from now, like we will have evolved to be like, oh, that thing that they were doing was crazy. Like, remember when they were like bloodletting and putting leeches on people's bodies because like they thought that was going to take the disease away. Like, we look back on that and we go, that was fucking asinine. But at the time, it was like good practice.
It made sense.
So like, hopefully, like they will. I hope if y'all listen to this in the future, I hope you evolve past this bullshit and that you save some lives.
Oh my God. I just had a vision of the aliens listening to this and being like, why they laugh so loud on this podcast? That's how the aliens talk. That's how they talk.
That they talk in like broken English. So funny.
All right, what's your glow up?
So, Fran, did you hear about, I'm keeping it Broadway here, did you hear about JoJo performing on Broadway?
No, but I love it.
So, class, JoJo, the famous Get Out Right Now young pop star from the early aughts and late 90s, she is in the Broadway version, the stage version of Moulin Rouge. Yeah, and she's been in it for 4 months. Her run is through October 13th. If you're in New York, we're going to be in New York and you want to see it. She's playing the co-starring role, Satine, that Nicole Kidman played in the film. I'm not going to see Moulin Rouge again because I saw it once and that was enough. But I did watch some of her performances on morning shows and it was great. It was also just like great to see her because you and I are fans.
That's a fix it. She said, let me fix it. Because the music industry did her dirty. She got into a bad contract as a teen and couldn't put out music. And she is so talented. And, I am really impressed that you're shouting out Broadway so much this episode, because I know how you feel about the plebels crossing over into Broadway.
The stunt casting is like,
but
roll
this
my
is
eyes.
This is an example where it actually works.
Well, it worked on me, if nothing else. I was like, oh, now JoJo. No, wait. Now you got me.
Oh, I love that for her. Well, I don't have plans on seeing it anytime soon, but you know what? Let's manifest, because that's what we do on this show. I would watch a live tape of that. I would watch that.
They do. I'm thinking about subscribing to Broadway HD, so maybe we could do like a watch party, maybe.
Oh, I love that idea. Yeah. Okay. Let's fix it.
Let's fix it.
Go for it.
So, class, per usual, we want to hear from you. Do you want to do a watch party with Francesca and I?
Yes.
Or do you just want to be a skater boy and see you later, boy? or maybe you'd like to suggest a TV show, celeb, or brand we should fix in a future episode. Please hit us up on Instagram @FixItPod or email us lemmefixitpod@gmail.com.
Also, we have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/@FixItPod. So please check out the show there. Just a reminder, you're getting the raw and real Fran and DeLon. I'm not editing that shit. I don't have time. So please watch and subscribe. And if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to give us a rating over on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, or your favorite podcast app. I'm Francesca.
And I'm DeLon. And this was...
Let me fix it!
My internet's better, so we're doing it in time.
Ah,
crazy.